These cars may have been forgotten by the roads, but they will never be forgotten by history. Check out this list of 15 rare classic American cars that collectors still find interesting and valuable. You'll even get a surprise when you see which car takes the top spot. So, let's go. Number 15. 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner Hemi. The iconic 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner Hemi was an incredibly uncommon and highly coveted muscle car from back in the day. The reason behind this is because of its strong engine, called the legendary 426 cubic inch Hemi V8 engine, which could make up to an impressive amount of horsepower, specifically around 425. Additionally, this beast also boasted torque power with approximately 490 pounds per foot. When you're looking at the outside of a 1971 Roadrunner Hemi, you can see its famous Roadrunner style. It's got a unique front grille, hood scoops, and a cool-looking rear spoiler too. The car was designed to be lightweight so that it could go super fast and do some amazing stuff on the road. Plus, the inside of the 1971 Roadrunner Hemi was pretty basic, with plain cloth seats and a simple dashboard. But that didn't matter because this car had some serious power. It was built for performance, which meant it had things like extra strong suspension and a manual transmission with 4 speeds. Now here's something cool. Only 71 of these cars were made in 1971 with the Hemi engine. That makes them super rare and valuable as collector's items today. In fact, lots of people who love muscle cars would give anything to have one. Number 14. 1969 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. The 1969 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am happens to be one of the most famous muscle cars ever made. It was equipped with a massive V8 engine that had an impressive power output of 335 horsepower thanks to its large size of 400 cubic inches. The combination of this powerful machine and its lightweight construction allowed it to dominate the road. When it comes to the outside, the 1969 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am had a really cool feature called a shaker hood scoop. This special design allowed air to flow directly into the carburetor and added some flair with unique badges and accents that made this car stand out from other regular Firebirds. Without a doubt, the 1969 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am is one of the coolest muscle cars from that period. Only about 700 were made back then, making it super rare and desirable now for collectors. Fun fact, the very first one ever built is worth tons of money today. And if you come across any convertible versions, consider yourself lucky, as they're even harder to find. And someone just sold one recently for over $1 million. Number 13. 1970 Oldsmobile 442 W30. The 1970 Oldsmobile 442 W30 was a really popular muscle car back in its time, and many people wanted to have one. The engine under its hood had an impressive size, bigger than most others at that time, which gave it a lot more power, 370 horsepower. And depending on whether you prefer manual or automatic transmissions, this beauty could come in either option. Looking at the outside of a 1970 442 W30, you'll notice some unique features that set it apart from other cars. There's special W30 badging on the front fenders and a cool hood scoop to help with airflow. It also has shiny chrome trim and styling that screams Oldsmobile. Inside, this car is pretty fancy too. The seats are comfortable bucket-style ones, there's a handy center console for storage or resting your arm while driving, or both, and the sporty steering wheel makes it fun to take turns. It's hard to argue that the 1970 Oldsmobile 442 W30 isn't one of the coolest muscle cars from back in the day. They only made 262 of them that year, so they're incredibly rare and valuable nowadays. Number 12. 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1. The 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1 is definitely one of the coolest and fastest muscle cars from that time. Under its hood, you'd find a huge V8 engine which had an impressive power output of 510 horsepower, with massive torque reaching up to about 510 pounds per foot. Believe it or not, this was actually the biggest and most powerful engine ever found in any car made by Buick. When it comes to the outer appearance, the GSX Stage 1 was created with a bold and aggressive design. Its unique black and yellow color combination made it stand out on the road, along with its functional hood scoop and rear spoiler. The car's wide stance, combined with flared fenders, gave off an impressive look that demanded attention from everyone around. The inside of the GSX Stage 1 was pretty cool. It had comfy bucket seats, a center console, and an instrument cluster aimed at performance junkies. It also came with some beefed-up features like heavy-duty suspension, power steering, and powerful disc brakes to handle all that raw horsepower under the hood. Speaking of which, this car was an absolute monster on wheels. You could go from 0 to 60 in just over 4 seconds and hit mind-blowing speeds up to around 150 miles per hour. Only 678 were built in the whole year. It's a real collector's dream car nowadays. Number 11. 1967 Dodge Coronet W023. Records show that only 55 Dodge Coronet W023s were ever built just for racing. The sleek and mean exterior design features a long hood and short trunk, typical characteristics of classic muscle cars from back in the day. This sweet ride was built to perform with a focus on reducing drag through aerodynamics, all while trying to keep it lightweight made, especially for going fast. When it comes to the inside of the W023, only what was necessary for racing remained. This means that things like a really cool steering wheel and comfy race seats were included, along with safety features like a roll cage. It's important to note that this car is super rare because they didn't make too many of them during the muscle car days in 1967. Number 10. 1968 Chevrolet Corvette L88. The 1968 Chevrolet Corvette L88 was a unique version of the classic Stingray. It boasted an impressive 7-liter V8 engine that could produce up to 430 horsepower. Pretty amazing if you ask us. The thing about this particular engine, though, is that it wasn't designed for just any kind of driving. Instead, it was specifically built with racing in mind. To achieve such high performance levels, Chevy loaded this car with goodies like solid lifters, as well as a Holley carburetor that helped ensure peak fuel efficiency at all times. The outside of the L88 Corvette had a really cool look called Stingray. It had a long, low front end and was super aerodynamic. You could get the car in two styles, coupe with a hardtop or convertible with no roof. The 1968 Chevrolet Corvette L88 is one of those cars that people are always looking for. They only made 80 of them back then, and less than half were convertibles, so they're kinda rare. Plus, these cars are top performers on the road, which makes them ultra special collector's items. Number 9. 1970 Dodge Challenger RT 426 Hemi Convertible. The 1970 Dodge Challenger RT 426 Hemi Convertible was powered by an amazing engine called the 426 cubic inch Hemi V8 that made it super powerful for its time. This bad boy had a really distinctive look with its long hood, short deck, and wide stance, just like all those awesome muscle cars you see in movies. And to make it even cooler, this model came in a color known as Hemi Orange, which everyone wanted. The 1970 Challenger RT 426 Hemi Convertible had a performance-focused interior layout that included comfortable bucket seats, a handy center console, and an attractive sporty steering wheel. What's special about this particular car is it still has its original engine and transmission combination, which makes it what they call a numbers-matching survivor. This type of model from the muscle cars era is known to be one of the rarest finds out there with excellent resale value, a true collector's item. Number 8. 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda Convertible. The 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda Convertible had a powerful 426 cubic inch engine, which could produce up to an impressive 425 horsepower at top speeds. The body of this amazing car was put together in Michigan before it got sent all the way over to France, where everyone could admire its unique Barracuda design. One feature that makes it stand out from other cars on the road today is its rear glass, which wraps around, giving drivers some extra visibility. It's a super rare car with only a few made. Car collectors think it's like finding a unicorn because there are so many special things about it all in one vehicle. Number 7. 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429. The 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429 was powered by a huge V8 engine that could produce up to 375 horsepower. This type of engine had special design features from Ford specifically for races held by NASCAR. It wasn't available in any other production model at that time. The Boss 429 Mustang was a souped-up version of the regular model. It had all kinds of fancy upgrades like a stronger frame, better suspension, and bigger brakes to make it go faster. Plus, its cool appearance included an awesome-looking hood scoop on top and special badges around it that made it really stand out. It's an undeniable fact that the 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429 is one of the rarest and most valuable models out there. They only made a total of 859 for that year, which was due to how complicated and expensive it was to modify them to fit with such a huge engine. The Boss 429 only had 2 short years of production, 69 and 70, so you can see why people go crazy over this collector's item today. Number 6. 1969 AMC AMX3. The 1969 AMC AMX3 was shown to the Italian media in March of 1970 and was planned to be built in Germany by Karmann starting from the next year. The purpose behind creating this super cool vehicle was that AMC wanted it to compete with other strong performers like the Chevrolet Corvette. Its design looks sharp and streamlined, sitting low on its wheels, and boasts an engine placed towards the middle for maximum power. When it comes to the outside, the AMX3 sports car had a really cool and unique look with its wedge-shaped body that sloped down towards the front. It also had neat pop-up headlights and an interesting grille design, which made people say things like "wow" or "that's beautiful." On the inside, it was set up for two people to sit comfortably, one as a driver, in what is called a cockpit-style layout. This means all the important gauges were close by and within easy reach, so you could focus on driving without getting distracted too much. Indeed, the AMX3 is a car that's very hard to come by. It was manufactured by AMC and only 5 test models were ever made before the project got halted. Sadly, this meant it never hit stores for mass production. Number 5. 1967 Shelby GT500 Super Snake. The 1967 Shelby GT500 Super Snake was an upgraded version of the famous Shelby GT500 Mustang, designed for top-notch performance. The most exciting part lay under its hood, a modified engine popularly known as Police Interceptor V8 with a capacity of 428 cubic inches that pumped out an impressive 355 horsepower. Plus, the Super Snake car had the same look as the Shelby GT500, with a cool front grille and neat features like a hood scoop and rear spoiler. But what made it really special was its super rare matte black paint job and fancy badging. Can you believe that only one of these cars was ever made? It wasn't even sold to regular folks, just used for tire testing by Shelby themselves. Once they finished using it, they kept it instead of selling it off, which means this car is one in a million, literally, making it way more valuable than other Mustangs out there. If we look at the Super Snake's insides, it had the same interior as a regular GT500. It had super comfy seats and sporty details that only Shelby models have. The ride was amazing too. Its powerful 428 cubic inch V8 engine and upgraded suspension gave a top-of-the-line performance for its time. Overall, this car was one of the best performers back in its day. Number 4. 1969 Chevrolet Corvette ZL1. The 1969 Chevrolet Corvette ZL1 is one of the rarest and most powerful Corvettes that was ever made. This car had a crazy fast, all-aluminum engine with over 585 horsepower. Can you imagine having a car like that today? The supercharged, high-performance engine came from the racing world in an exciting series called Can-Am. And get this, it could go faster than 200 miles per hour, which is mind-blowing even by today's standards. To make things even cooler, it also had a Muncie M40 4-speed automatic transmission, basically meaning that shifting gears would be exhilarating. All of these incredible features combined to produce what still stands as one of history's fastest production cars on record. Now that's impressive. The ZL1 looked stunning with its sleek and aerodynamic body style, inspired by the classic Corvette Stingray. The most iconic feature of this car was its split-window design, which added to its overall charm. Car lovers could opt for their favorite color from a variety of options available for the exterior. Explore the inside of this high-performance sports car, and you will be amazed by how luxurious it feels. The interior is crafted with top-notch materials, giving an upscale look while maintaining comfort and functionality, making every ride in it truly memorable. The ZL1 was a really rare option for Corvettes back in 1969. In fact, only 2 were ever made, making it one of the most valuable and uncommon models out there. The reason why so few people got this crazy powerful engine is because it cost over $4,700 at the time, which equals more than $30,000 nowadays. Pretty expensive, right? Number 3. 1957 Chevrolet Corvette Supersport. The 1957 Chevrolet Corvette Supersport was very special because it was the first ever vehicle to be given the SS name. At some point before its release in the 1957 Sebring 12 Hours race, this snazzy sports car needed to have a plastic canopy installed on top. However, during actual competition, it didn't include this feature. Additionally, the 1957 Corvette Supersport had a very impressive feature: the Rochester ramjet fuel injection system. This new technology was developed by a special group of engineers, which included Zora Duntov, in secrecy for the Sebring 12 Hours race back in 1957. It gave an outstanding performance boost to the already amazing Corvette. Now, you won't believe it, but the 1957 Corvette Supersport is one of the rarest Corvettes ever made, because only one was created. This means that it's super valuable and people want to add it to their collections. Number 2. 1954 Packard Panther. In 1954, car makers Packard created a unique concept car to show off their fancy design and style ideas. They called it the Grey Wolf 2 at first, but later changed the name to Packard Panther. This cool ride had an awesome one-piece fiberglass body that was super new and different for its time. And when we look at the outside of the Panther car, it had a really unique and modern design. Its body was long and low to the ground, with an eye-catching front grille that stood out. Plus, it had this cool wraparound windshield and fancy sloping roofline that made it super sleek looking. You could also see distinctive side vents on the Panther, as well as a Mitchell badge on its side in honor of Bill Mitchell, who designed this awesome car. And now, are you ready for an exciting fact? The 1954 Packard Panther is a super rare car that only has 4 units in the whole world. That's like finding a needle in a haystack. Its unique design and advanced engineering make it one of the most sought-after collectible cars around. Number 1. 1935 Duesenberg SSJ. The 1935 Duesenberg SSJ is so rare and valuable because there were only 2 ever made. This model is based on another fancy car called the Duesenberg Model SJ. Back in the 1930s, this was one of their fanciest cars you could get your hands on with top-notch features and sleek design. It had an awesome engine that could pump out around 400 horsepower, which was insane for the time. Not only did it have power under the hood, but its suspension system also made for a smooth ride. What set this model apart from other cars of its day were its sleek and sporty looks, with a short wheelbase and low-slung body measuring just over 10 feet long. The exterior design included features like a stylish grille arrangement on top of uniquely shaped headlights you won't see anywhere else. All these qualities combined to give drivers an aggressive-looking vehicle perfect for tearing out those old dirt roads or cruising down Main Street in style. If we take a look at the Duesenberg SSJ from the inside, it's clear that only top-notch materials and beautiful craftsmanship would have been used, as is typical of all Duesenbergs. If you enjoyed watching this video, please consider subscribing to our channel for more great content like it. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and share your thoughts with us in the comments section below.